Ready? Up on the board, I got a sequence. Anybody know the name of that sequence and why? Anybody see a special pattern in that sequence? What am I doing in this sequence?
Adding 6.
I'm adding 6. So if you add the same number, this is called arithmetic, whatever you want to call it. I'm asking, and this is something you guys did in your groups yesterday, write a formula for the nth term. Everyone's got their formula sheet, right? There's only one formula I use for arithmetic sequence, and I'm going to start doing a better job of calling on a ton of people here. So give me that formula off the formula sheet for arithmetic. I know this is arithmetic because I'm adding 6, right? So give me that formula I want to use on any arithmetic problem. Boom, boom, there we go. Start us off right, Hob. What do you have off the formula sheet? All right. And if I'm asking for an equation for the nth term, and there we go, Gianna, n stays n. All right, everywhere I see an n, I'm going to keep it n. So it's going to be an is going to stay the same. All right, what are we plugging in next here for a1? Boom, 1, 2, Max. What do you want to plug in for a1? 3, that's the first term. What about for this n? It stays n, trick question. -1. And then times, what's my d value up here? If we remember what that meant, d value. Leah?
6.
That's your common difference, what you're going by, 6. There you go. Now, would you get credit for this? Yes, you would, but I'd like you to clean it up too. All right, because you guys are more than capable of cleaning it up. All right, so go ahead, help me clean this up here. Distribute that 6 for me real quick. Distribute the 6. Back to you. What do you got? Distribute the 6.
6 minus 6.
Good. Clean that up now. One more step to clean up. Shoom. Back to Joe. Here you go. Clean that up. A sub n equals, what's it going to be when you clean it up?
-3.
Yep.
Plus 6. Huh?
There you go. There's my equation for the nth term of this formula. Now, Leah, I'll put you on the spot because you asked an awesome question yesterday in your group. She asked, how do I know if I actually did this right? Let's see. Plug in the number 3 for me right now, everyone. Plug in the number 3 for n. You can do it in your head or on your calculator. Plug in the number 3 for n. And what do you get out after you plug in the number 3 for n? Joe, going back to you.
18.
I get 18 here, but then you got to do plus a -3, right?
Yep. 15.
15. Everybody, what was the third term in the sequence?
Oh my gosh, 15.
That's how you know if you did it right. You want to plug in any number, and that should be the term you have there. So if you want to plug in 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, you should get 27 out. That's how you can tell if you did this right or not. All right. All good? All right, so that's just a little review of what we've been doing. Today, here's what we're doing today. We're going to take these terms in the arithmetic sequence and add them up. Okay, we're going to add them up. So let me first introduce you to a new symbol we're going to be using, which is this Greek letter. All right, this Greek letter, I don't know if anybody has ever heard of it before or seen it. Probably on frat houses, let's be honest. We've seen it the most. That's the Greek letter sigma. Okay, that is the Greek letter sigma. All good? All right, not what the slang means, all right? My daughter threw that out this summer. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? I had to explain it to me. But this is a math symbol, all right? Sigma, that's what we're using it for. Here's what it's going to do. It's going to generate a list of numbers that you need to add up. That's what this sigma is going to do. It's going to generate a list of numbers that you guys have to add up. All good? All right, so how do you generate these numbers? You'll see 3 pieces to it. The bottom of it, the top, and the right. You take the number on the bottom first. All right, the number on the bottom, which is what?
3.
You plug it in for k. That generates the first term in your sequence. So everyone plug in 3. 2 times 3, and then you add the 1. What's the first term in the sequence here? 3. There you go, Will. 7. How do I generate more numbers in the sequence? You plug in all numbers from this bottom one, we just plugged in 3 all the way to 8 and everything in between. So you just plugged in 3. Now you'll plug in 4. All right, you'll plug in every number from the bottom one to the top one and generate new numbers in the sequence. So plug in 4 right now. Plug in 4 for K. What's our next number in the sequence? Amron, when you have it, when you plug in 4 for K. Come on. Not holding hands. You got this. When I plug in 4 for K, what number do you get here? 4, right in there for K. 2 times 4 plus 1, right? You good here? You need a pencil probably? All right, let's go. We need to take some notes. 2 times 4 plus 1. What do we got? I got to move on. 9. So 9's the next one. Now, as you start finding them, the sigma tells me add them up. Got it? Tells me add them up. Good? That's what we do. We generate the terms and then add them all up at the end. All right, I just plugged in 3. I plugged in 4. Now you plug in 5. Plug in 5, everyone, for K. Plug in 5 for K. Let's go here. Let's keep rolling. Plug in 5. Tyler? 11. Plug in 6. We go right from the bottom number to the top number we plug in. So plug in 6 now. Shoom, there we go. Everyone, Ian? 13. Plug in 7.
15.
And then plug in 8. And that is where we stop. Once you plug in the top number, we are done. The final answer is those numbers added up. That is your final answer is those numbers added up. You generated a sequence. Now you add them up. What do we have when you add them up? 72. That's the final answer of this type of problem. Doesn't seem so bad, right? Okay. All right, let's go 2 now. What number do we plug in first for the variable?
0.
The number on the bottom. So everyone plug in 0. So if you need help, type it in your darn calculator. Let's go. 2 times 3 all raised to the 0. And type it in just like that in your calculator. So when you type in, plug in 0. Shoom. Oh, dog, not here. Amber, what do you have when you plug in 0? Plugging in 0 for n. 2 times 3 to the 0. Two. Now what number is everyone plugging in?
1.
Right? You don't just go right to 4. You got to plug in every number in between, guys. From the bottom to the top, every number in between. So you plug in 1 now. 2 times 3 to the first. 2 times 3 to the first. Felicia. 6. I plugged in 0. Also sometimes I like to just keep track. I plugged in 0. I plugged in 1. Now I'm going to plug in 2. 2 times 3 squared. 1's Nick. 2 times 3 squared. What do we got? 18. Yep. Let's keep going. Now I got to plug in 3, right? It's at 54. And then you plug in 4. Well, that's a large one, huh? 981, 162.
Yep.
That's all right. You probably need a form to order shirts, right? There you go. No, you're fine. Thank you. We all good? Now you generated them. Now you add them all up. And what do we end up here with?
242.
242. Good work. This is not bad, right?
There's going to be arithmetic sequences.
Some of the time, like this one is,
Yeah.
right? Some of it are, but no, I just want you guys to figure out the sigma, right? It doesn't matter what type it is. Next one now. Looks a little different, right? Looks a little different. What do you think I do? What do you think I do here?
Add 2 to whatever you get.
Whatever my total is, add 2. Not, hey, here's the difference. Don't add 2 to every term. It's just add 2 to whatever the answer is. All right, that's all that it's saying. So if you want to just put 2 plus now, or remember to add 2 at the end, but you are not adding 2 to every term. It's only at the end I do it. Add 2 to your answer. Right, so what number we plug in first? 1, yep. So 13 minus 3 times 1, what's that, a 10 spot? 10? All right, you plugged in 1. Now what do you want to plug in? 2 now? All right, so I plug in 2 for n. 7, yeah, I'm not even going to bother with, hopefully we're picking this up by now, but. All right, plug in 3, 4. When you plug in 4, when you plug in 3, you get 4 out, right?
Yeah.
And now plug in 4. 13 minus 12, 1 spot. And then again, just add 2 at the end. That's what that's telling you. 12, 24. All right, all good. Yeah, Tyler.
Are the sigmas going to be on the quiz?
Yes.
Okay.
What we're doing right now. Yeah, and you guys. All right, I guess I got to get up on my street lingo because obviously I'm missing something. So. All good. All right. Well, I got better news for you here. I need you to know how to do these by hand. All right. I did know you do need to know how to do these by hand, but that's in your calculator. You can just type all this in your calculator and it'll give you the answer right away. So I need to show you where is it located in your calculator so you can use it, and hopefully you will use it going forward. Ready? Go to calculation, because we got to calculate it, right? So everyone go to calculation. Here's where you can find that symbol. Go to the toolbox. Everyone remember using your toolbox maybe last year?
Yep.
You go to the toolbox, and this makes you feel real strong here. You go to calculus. Yeah, boss moves now. You go to calculus, hit enter, scroll down, and don't worry about what this is. Everyone see the one we want there, huh? There it is right there. All right, there it is. So you select that one. And now look, I know in this problem, oh, we do have K. All right, so it matches up perfectly. But hey, even if it's not K, you can erase that and put whatever letter you want, or just keep it K and make sure you just change the variable to K here. All right, so it's up to you. All right, so this one has what? K equals 3 on the bottom. Up top, it goes to 5. And then inside that parenthesis, K squared plus K.
Dude, that's crazy.
Just make sure you can't change it to X. It's got to be, everyone knows where to get a K from. Alpha, where's the K here? Alpha square root. Yep. K squared, what is it, plus or minus? Plus or minus K. Plus, right? Can we type yes? Because this saves you a whole bunch of time and frustration.
Yeah, it's pretty sigma.
62.
Oh, it's square though. Oh, this is square. Get aspect selected.
Yes, Leah.
On like a multiple choice question, would you want us to write all out?
Nope. I do not expect you to write anything out anymore. I just type it in because you write that number. I know you used your calculator.
So we don't have to show it.
If no,
Alright.
yeah, but there's bad news coming. But everyone, good here. There's bad news coming.
What's the bad news? Catch.
It's on the next one. You can't use your calculator on the next one.
Why not?
There's 4 plus.
No. That has nothing. You can do that still. Anybody take a wild guess why you can't use your calculator, John? No,
It's an
not
X.
even that.
There's
An X.
2 variables.
There you go. Your calculator will only handle 1.
Well, could we just take out, like, subtract or add the x and make it equal to x?
Add x to each side.
Yeah.
It's not going to work that way. Sorry,
Doesn't work
Bob.
that way?
No, you still have 2 variables. Okay. So, hey, you cannot use the calculator if it has 2 variables. That's why I showed you how to do it by hand. What number do you plug in first?
2.
2. All right, ready? And remember, we're just going to add 4 at the end, so you can put it in right now if you want. So everyone plug in 2. I'm going to take my time here. Plug in 2.
Is it negative?
No, that's a positive 2. Plug in 2 for K. So you get what? 3 times. That's what I get when I plug in 2 for K. Not for X, it says K equals. So I plug it in for K. What are you going to do with that 3?
Distribute.
Yeah, so you get 6 minus.
3x.
There you go. That's what you end up with when you plug in 2. All right, what are you going to plug in next? Factor.
Looking back to.
Equal to 0.
What do you? You only plugged in 1 number so
Never
far.
mind. Never mind.
There
You got to plug in all numbers 2 through 5, right? I just plugged in 2. What's next?
Great.
Plug in the number 3 now for K. So 3 times 3 minus X.
You okay? Yeah, I'm good.
Distribute.
It's all good.
9 minus
3x.
3X. Are we done?
No.
What you got to plug in next?
We're looking done.
4.
4 for K.
You good, man?
12 minus 3X. Are we done yet?
No.
No. Plug in. So that's 15 minus 3X. All right, there's all the terms. Take your time combining everything now. Take your time combining all your like terms. How many X's do you have up there?
Negative 20.
Negative 12X. And then 4, 6, 9, 12, 15.
46.
Is it 46?
Yep.
Yeah, sure. Everyone else good there? Multiple variables, you cannot use your calculator. Everything else, if it's got a single variable, go right ahead.
Yeah.
All right, we're good.
Can I go back?
Yeah, please do. All right, I'm going to skip. Let me skip over 6. All right, because I want to get into what we're actually using this symbol for. All right, you ready? Numbers. Go to number 7. All right, find the sum of that sequence right there. Notice anything about it? 12, 19, 26. What am I doing?
Adding 7.
So this is called a what sequence?
Arithmetic.
Arithmetic, however you're going to say it. So if, now this is where it's going to get intense. If I ask you to add up an arithmetic sequence only, arithmetic only, if I ask you to add up those terms, you're going to do it using, yep, here we go, laugh it up, using a sigma, all right? Great. You need to set up your own. And again, I only want to use this if I'm adding up an arithmetic sequence. So you need to find a bottom, a top, and what goes here. So let me put a little template in for you. Down here, I always start with 1. Okay, I always start with 1 down there. On top, and this is something you're going to have to figure out, on top you put the number of terms added.
We're supposed to figure that out.
Oh, we're going to figure it out, boss. You got enough knowledge. The number of terms so if we're adding 12, you put a 12 on top. Ready for what goes on the right? This is why I did it at the beginning of the class, that example at the beginning of the class. You write the nth equation for the nth term to the right, which is what we have practice with. Stay with me here. How do I know that was arithmetic first? I was adding 7. So I'm like, all right, I got to add them up. I got to build my own sigma now. N equals 1. All right, I don't have time for you to list out all the terms up to 180 and count them and tell me how many I'm adding up and put that number on top. There's got to be a quicker way to get there. And darn right there is. You got a formula sheet that we've been using. What's the formula we've been using for arithmetic sequence this entire time? AN equals A1 plus N minus 1 times D, right? All right, let's use this to figure out how many of these we're putting together now. A sub n, any term in the sequence but the first.
Second.
Well, I want a particular one here, right? I want to know how many I'm adding up, so I want to know where's 180 fall here, right? So I want to plug in 180. I want to figure out where 180 falls. A1?
12.
Yep. N is what we're trying to figure out. Where is 180 in this sequence? What term is it? Yep, we're going to solve for that. And then your D value?
7.
It's going by 7s. I'll let you guys solve for N now. Go ahead, distribute the 7, solve for N. Because that'll be my top number up here. How many terms am I adding up? Where is 180 in this sequence? What do we get for N?
25.
20?
5.
So that means 180 is the 25th term. So all together we're adding up 25 terms.
Was it n equals 1?
What's that?
Why is it n equals
That's where we're
1?
starting from.
This is to do it with this method. Always have to start at 1. You could start at another number, Ian, but it's going to affect that top number now. If you start at 2, now we got to go up to 26 because you got to make sure you add up 25 terms. All right, so that's why I always start at 1. It makes it nice and easy. All right, what's going to go here now? We had practice in your group yesterday, and we had practice at the beginning of class today, writing the nth equation for the nth term. N stays. N, all right, here you go. A sub n equals, what are you plugging in for A1? 12. What goes in for this n? Trick question. N, right? N stays n when you're writing this equation. Minus 1 times, which is 7. Go ahead, clean that up, and that's what we're writing to the right side of the sigma. Plus 5. Plus 5.
Good.
There you go.
Oh, you don't write the n.
Then you plug
No,
in
you
your calc.
And how am I going to find the answer?
Calculator.
I hope so. I'm not plugging in 1 through 25. That's for darn sure. All right, I'm using my calculator to do this, to find out what all those terms add up to. Make sure you, because I cannot help. Quiz Friday, Regents January. I cannot help you find that button on your calculator. All right, that's on you. Yep.
How do we put in the AN equals 5%?
No, you don't. You just do 7n plus 5. You don't add in the an. Just plug in the 7n plus 5, or if you're using k, use k. So what do those first 25 terms add up to?
2,400.
Should add up to 2,400 there. One last time. Always start with 1 on the bottom. Always start with 1. Number of terms you're adding up. I'm glad I'm battling with this. Number of terms you're adding up, and then the nth term, which we've had a couple of examples of practice with now. All right, I got to move because you guys need to practice this stuff. All right, find the sum of this series here. Arithmetic sequence.
Which one? 8?
8. Yep, here we go. Let's talk about what I'm. First of all, you guys are going to get confused by the notation, so let's just. Not that that helps, but. All right, let's see what I'm giving you here. N is 19. That's the number of terms you're adding up, right? So far, we can already build 2 out of 3 parts here of our sigma. What goes on the bottom?
19.
1. Always 1. You always start with 1. How many terms are we adding up?
19.
19. Good. Now what we got to figure out is the nth term equation over here. All right, so let's see if we can build it here. A sub n equals A1 plus n minus 1 times d. What gets plugged in for n?
19. Nothing.
Oh boy.
Nothing.
N, right? N stays n when you write this equation. Uh-oh. We run into a problem? Oh, we don't know the first term. So sad. So sad. But can we find the first term, though, maybe?
Yes.
Right? You know what term? But we already know n, right? What's the n value here?
154.
No, the n value.
19.
So really we know A19 equals 154. So we know the 19th term is 154, right? And what's the d value, tell me?
8.
What's that mean?
Subtract 8 19 times.
To get to the first term?
Yeah.
Keep going backwards. We could do that, right?
Yeah.
All right, so if you start on the 19th term, 154, and you subtract 9, subtract 8, subtract 8, subtract 8, or we could do it a quicker way. You could do that. That would get you there eventually. I don't know how much time that would take. Can't we just use this again? Can't we just use this again to find out what the first term is? All right, here you go. What's I got to work down here now. Any term in the sequence.
19.
It is the night. What is the 19th term?
154.
First term. That's what you're telling me to find. Come on, how well have I done here? What's going to go in for this n?
19.
Thank you. Here we go. Whatever 154's position is in the sequence, which it's the 19th, minus 1, d value, 8. So now you can solve A1 so we can go back up and finish this beast.
One equals 10.
18 times 8, then move it over. So what is the first term?
10.
Everyone getting 10 out? 10?
Yep.
Okay, go back now. Finish the equation. Let's see if you can do this on your own. Finish the equation, because that's what I was missing up here was that first term. What are you plugging in for the next n?
Nothing.
Thank you. N stays n, everyone. N stays n when you write this equation. Anytime you're asked for the equation for the nth term, n stays n, and clean it up. And that's what's going to go to the right of that symbol. Eight n plus 2 or 2 plus 8n. There you go. You just built your sigma. You guys know where to go to find the answer. Type it in, type it in. Because I can't answer this question on Friday. Where do I go on my calculator? You can go back 2 days and pay attention in class.
Oh, wow, that's a big number.
And what do they all add up to? 1,000.
558.
Okay, all good. And this last one's going to be quick. I just want to make a point on the last one. You see Big Matt here running the marathon. He runs 20 miles the first week, and then he increases it by what, 2, 4? 4 miles. How many miles total did he go in 8 weeks? Not what he did on the 8th week. How many total did he go? Now, something like this. Can you guys write out a couple numbers in this sequence so I can take a look at it? What's the first one? 20.
24.
28.
Okay, so this is arithmetic. Everyone agree?
X.
All right, but I'll be honest. I probably wouldn't waste your time doing a sigma here.
We can just count.
Just list them out, right? There's only 8 weeks, right? List them out, add them up. All right, so sometimes I'm not going to require it. You do you, whatever's best for you. Now, if I go 50 weeks of training, now we got a different story. Maybe I would build the sigma here, but not here. Especially when there's only 8 weeks of training. You guys can just list them out and add them up. There you go. List them out, add them up. How many miles total?
272.
I got 276.
Oh, shoot.
Hold up.
Oh, no, you're right. You're right.
324.
272 look all right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Time to do a few on your own. Hey, just a heads up. I didn't show you one thing on your calculator that's going to come into play on this first question. So take a look at that first question for me. You guys have what? K equals 1 to 6. And then you have all of this, right? Take a peek here. 3 times 4 to the K minus 1. That flip the page to the assignment. Flip the page. There we go. Flip the page to the assignment on the next page. I'll wait. Flip the page to the assignment on the next page. Flip the page to the assignment on the next page. There we go. All right. See where I have here 3 times 4 to the K minus 1? That, bring up your sigma right now in your calculator. Bring it up with me. Bring that button up. You see where it has right here? All of that has to fit in that parenthesis. You can't make a separate parenthesis. All right, so all of this right here has to fit in that parenthesis your calculator is giving you. All good? All right, you can't make separate ones outside it. So everything's got to go in there. So you got, I'm not going to type in the rest there for you, but you got the 3. Then you have to build your own parenthesis there. 4, See what I mean? Everything's got to go in that original parenthesis for to get the correct answer. All right. So go ahead, go through a couple of those, and you guys can see the answers here. All right. If it's got two variables, you got to do it out by hand. So you should be getting 4,095. And when you get to number 3, you can type the 1/2 in front. You can move your arrow over to the left and type it 1/2. You could skip over 4. I'll let you skip 4. We didn't go over anything like that. All right, so you can go right to 5. 5 you should be able to handle. So you can skip over 4 and go to 5.